Hello, it's Coach Kyra. I'm so excited to connect with you today about menopause and about midlife weight, body change, what's happening to our bodies, and essentially what it is that we can do to ensure that we can still make progress toward our goal, even in midlife. So please forgive me. I was at a boxing match. My voice is gone, but I'm here with you today, and I'm excited to talk about this because I had a conversation with a client. Where is this coming from? Conversation with a client where she was sharing some frustration about having started several months ago and feeling like in the past several months that she's tried to start her health journey, so much of her life has changed. Relationships have changed, parents have changed, children have changed, job circumstances have changed. She's changed, and the stress of what's happening in this chapter of her life has influenced her ability to stick with the plan. And I wanted to speak to that today because I want to, one, normalize that her experience is not abnormal, that many of my clients who are in midlife, menopausal, premenopausal, we go through these things, but it might be helpful to bring some voice to the conversation. So I wanted to take a little bit of a different tone today, just kind of off the script, talk about what's going on, talk about how we can work together to resolve it, and maybe give you a little bit of hope as we approach or work through all of these changes that we are bound to go through. Right. So let's start with what we're doing. And if we've been together, for a couple of weeks, you've seen this, right? The Queen Fit methodology, what it is that we're trying to work on, what it is that we're trying to achieve. First things first, we have a weight loss goal, and that's important. But what's more important than our weight loss goal is the undercurrent of learning how to keep it off. Super duper important for us to develop the skills and the lifestyle habits to keep our weight off. And so that is the undercurrent to our relationship. Learn how to lose the weight. Most importantly, learn how to keep it off so that when I call you again a year from now, you are in an even better position than where I found you. Okay. Rationale is if you've lost weight before, keeping it off is probably the piece of the puzzle that you've been missing, right? You've probably lost 20 pounds before, but you've probably gained 25 pounds after that. So, what are the things that we need, right? So, our approach answers the things that we need to get that done. Holistic, systematic, graduated approach to the lifestyle factors, behaviors, and nutritional habits, and exercise routines that don't just obtain, but keep your result, okay? Because that's the undercurrent. Now, when we think about timelines for what this looks like, some people come to me, they're like, Coach, I got 40 pounds to lose in 3 months. Is it possible? I'm like, sure. If you don't like having a social life, and if you don't ever want to eat with your family over the next 3 months, more than possible. If you also are comfortable with gaining it back, it's more than possible, right? But we want to take a very realistic, not necessarily anything that's fad or anything that we've seen online. We want to take a scientific approach to our fat loss. And here's what that looks like. Our timeline for weight loss is done as quickly and as safely as is supported by the scientific literature, but as influenced by your ability to adhere to the plan that we create. Okay. And this is the beginning of our discussion. When we think about menopause, midlife change, the influential word that will string us through this entire conversation is adherence. Okay. So let me get down just to the nutritional behavior hierarchy, right? What are the things, Coach, that you're asking me to adhere to? Let me just remind you of the things that we're expected to adhere to. Okay. Starting with most important at the bottom of the pyramid. The most important piece of our nutritional environment that we're trying to adhere to are the eating and lifestyle behaviors, the consistency of habits, and adherence to the plan. This is what matters more than anything else that we'll work on. Your eating and lifestyle behaviors, the consistency of your habits, and adherence to the plan. And I want you to think about the calendar that we have in our app. Okay. We have a calendar that literally shows you over the past 30 days how many days did you check your nutrition box. And if you have questions about whether or not your plan is working, this is the place we start. How many days did we check our nutrition box? Okay. Adherence. I just want you to hold this consistency and adherence in the back of your mind because this is what we're going to discuss. On top of that, the next most important piece, energy balance, your caloric intake, and the rate of your body weight change. So Now that you're adhering to the plan, now because you're adhering to the plan, you're losing weight. We take a look at the rate at which you're losing weight and we decide whether or not that rate is comfortable, whether or not that rate is something that you want to speed up, whether or not that rate is something that you'd like to slow down. Okay. This is when we start to make adaptations to the plan once you start following it. Okay. Adherence. Now, with adherence, it's important for this to be flexible. It's important for our goals to be realistic. And it's also important for our goals to be enjoyable. But here's how midlife and menopause might change that. Okay. First things first, trying to lose weight, trying to shred body fat, trying to build and retain muscle, and trying to reach a point in our lifestyles that's conducive to managing our new weight. Okay. Lose the weight, keep it off. We know that we lose weight by creating a calorie deficit, right? First, we start with adherence to the plan structure that we create. From there, we create our calorie deficit, right? We just went through those stages, okay? Adherence as the baseline of the pyramid, like we've said, but stress is what influences our ability to adhere to the plan, okay? Stress and cortisol are the reasons why this becomes difficult. So let me explain. You are experiencing in midlife some hormonal changes physiologically related to your body. Okay. First, you're experiencing a decrease in estrogen, right? A decrease in the hormone that stabilizes body fat percentage. Your body is starting to look for this estrogen in other places. And so when we think about this tire, right? Some of y'all call it the spare tire. We think about this tire that starts to develop. Think about this as a reaction to a drop in estrogen, okay? You're also experiencing a decrease in estrogen and testosterone, leading to pain and inflammation, okay? And that might decrease your desire to be active. That might decrease your willpower to go take your walk or decrease your willpower to make it to the gym. And the physical sensation of being in pain might debilitate us for a season. Okay. So these are things that are happening in your body. I just want you to give yourself some grace and some understanding as you think about, right, what's happening to your body during this phase. Okay. You're also experiencing decreased testosterone, leading to a loss of muscle mass. Okay. Loss of muscle mass making you frail, decreasing your strength, but also dropping your metabolic rate, your metabolism. Okay. So where at 35, 40, right, before the stuff started happening, your metabolism might have rested somewhere around 1,800 calories a day. But as we go through these changes, your metabolism is dropping, one, because of a decrease in muscle mass, also because we're not as active, because we're in pain, and also because we don't feel good, right? A decrease in estrogen and testosterone is interrupting your dopamine levels, influencing your mood and self confidence, also influencing your desire to seek out pleasure from other places. Things that were usually bringing you joy and happiness. For example, walking might have been something that was really rewarding for you, or boxing, or fill in the blank. But now you're seeking these food experiences for this dopamine response because those levels, those hormonal levels of estrogen and testosterone that influence your happiness feelings, right, are thrown off. Okay. You'll probably also experience some decreased sleep quality due to night sweats, hot flashes, decreased melatonin, an increased level of stress hormone cortisol, leading to a dysregulation of your hunger hormones, okay, leptin and ghrelin. This increases your food cravings the next day. So go with me. You've had a bad night's sleep and you're probably up for 4 hours in the night, maybe only got 3 hours of quality sleep. The next day, that's going to show up in your food selection, your food choices, right? You're going to start seeking food experiences that fill in that battery charge that you didn't get overnight in your sleep. Okay. Think about your body as a battery that you put on the charger overnight, but last night you only got 30% charged. You have to fill your battery up with something else. And this is where we start seeking those food experiences. Okay. These things, plus a myriad of other things, can increase your body fat percentage, right? One, because you're decreasing your level of physical activity, you're increasing your levels of food consumption, especially hyperpalatable, really tasty food. Your metabolism is dropping, you're feeling stressed, and you're losing sleep. I mean, I can close the laptop here, right? That is not promising. As we think about our midlives, as we think about trying to combat this through our lifestyle, it's like everything is up against us. And when we think about these goals that we have, trying to transform our bodies, trying to get right in the right place with our health and fitness, I just named five of the biggest things that could possibly be up against you physiologically. Talked about your kids. I haven't even talked about your spouse. Haven't talked about things changing on the job. Haven't talked about what's going on in your mind when you look at yourself in the mirror. There is so much happening in your life that I want you to just take a second and like thank yourself for being okay while this is happening. Okay. Take a second and just give yourself some gratitude for this because this season of life is not easy. But I want to hone in on the fact that these influences are what's making it difficult for this to go as planned, right? It's not just you, it's not your fault, okay? Our adherence is being compromised by the stress of physiological change. Our ability to adhere to the plan is being compromised by what's changing in our bodies. Stress is a big component of what's happening and the reasons why we might feel frustrated along the way, the reasons why this feels much more difficult to do at 49 and 55 than it did at 29, right? And 25. It feels very different. Okay. Now, stress is not the sole culprit of weight challenges during midlife. Okay. Your weight is calories in, calories out, period. However, stress exacerbates the behaviors that you seek after to help you not feel stressed. Okay. Stress makes you change your behavior. If you were not stressed, this would be a completely different conversation. Because you're stressed, your behavior is changing. You're not as active, right? You might find yourself kind of being more still, more sedentary, laying down just because you're in pain, you're not feeling good, your mood is down, you don't feel like exercising. You might be seeking more fun foods, right? Seeking more palatable foods. You might be skipping workouts or having a lot of stress at work and spending long hours in the job, and then you just want to go home and lay down. Fill in the blank. The stress is influencing your behavior and your ability to adhere to the plan. So we need to focus on primarily, number one, we need to focus on managing and mitigating your stress. We have got to find a way to bring the stress down so that the stress does not cause self sabotaging behavior. Okay. How can we bring the stress down? Breathing techniques, calming music, massage, warm bath, taking a walk, phoning a friend, fill in the blank. But we have to focus on bringing the stress down. And here are some of the ways that we can both bring the stress down and we can continue making progress toward the goal. Okay. One, we need to focus on consuming a diet rich in whole food, protein, veggies, fruit, whole starches, nuts, and seeds to ensure that one, you're consuming appropriate calories for your metabolism at this phase in your life, appropriate macronutrients for your body and health goals, and appropriate micronutrients for your overall health. This helps us to ensure that we stay ahead of self sabotaging food behavior. We need to spend some time sitting down, thinking about our food week, what we're going to eat, what's going to come up as a surprise. And this is what we do in our conversations with one another. This is why you have some help, right? So we can sit down and think about this stuff. Then we need to focus on improving our sleep by following the 3-2-1 sleep method. If you don't know what 3-2-1 is, we need to talk about that in our next call. We need to limit caffeine after certain hours or limit the amount of caffeine that you're consuming, period. We need to reduce our screen time, potentially wearing blue light blocking glasses in the evening time, potentially adding sleep supplements, and practicing stress relieving wind down routines at the end of the day. Okay. If you need help with this is why I'm here, right? We are not following the give you a meal plan and give you exercise plan and send you on your way routine. Absolutely not. We are here to work together to incorporate this into your life And because we see that stress is making it difficult to incorporate these things into your life, these are the things that we need to be talking about. Okay. You need to be resistance training, following a structured program for at least 8 weeks of time at a time, training relatively hard, right? So we're graduating them 2 and 3 pound dumbbells. We're moving up into the 20s now. Okay. And we're training at least 3 times per week to increase your muscle mass. That increases your metabolism, increases your strength, increases the reservoir for extra carbohydrate storage. That way, when you have extra food, it's not being stored as body fat, but rather as muscle tissue. This also helps to ensure that when you do reach your goal, you like the way you look. This is where tone comes into play. The more muscle you have, the better you look, the better you feel, the healthier you are. Okay. We need to increase our activity to at least 6,000 steps a day, breaking up our sedentary lifestyles and keeping your metabolism high. Okay. If you are not hitting your step goal, this is low hanging fruit. Start hitting your step goal. This can help to ensure that one, we're regulating that stress hormone throughout the day, but two, we're continuing to make progress toward this goal. And then finally, we need to really focus on allowing the stress regulation, these healthy lifestyles to become a habit that isn't easily influenced by stress, right? That we make these things pillars in our lives so that when we do experience stress, we do experience difficult times, that it doesn't knock us off of our health path, okay? Definitely consider hormone replacement therapy if you haven't already, and reach out to help as you think about these things. But I wanted to spend some time, one, affirming you and what you're experiencing in your body right now. Two, acknowledging that it's the changes in your body that are making it difficult to adhere to the plan that we create. That's not you. It's physiologically what you were born with, right? That's making it difficult for us to stick with this stuff. But then giving you some reminders, right? Some restructuring in terms of what we need to focus on in order to reclaim this experience. Okay. Yes, it's frustrating to make a little bit of progress and then stress knock you out of the way and you go binge eat or you go skip out on your workouts or you skip your walks or fill in the blank. That is so frustrating. But there is promise in that as we focus on bringing our stress down, daily focusing on stress management techniques, daily focused on improved sleep, right? If you have any questions about this stuff, let me know. But these are the things that we want to spend some time working on. Okay. Wanted to share this with you. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any questions, definitely shoot them to me in the app. But I will be talking with you all soon. And I want you to give yourself some grace. We're going to get through this. Okay. Talk to you soon.